on this episode of Bring Your Fav, Chef's Corner. Welcome back to Bring Your Fav. I haven't posted a lot of content in a while, and there's a reason for that. I have this new series called Chef's Corner, where I will be cooking more. I've been going to restaurants, seeing people cook things for me, but this time, I wanted to go into the kitchen and make recipes to share with the whole world. So I'm gonna do that today with one of my favorite recipes, pesto pasta. All right, enough talking. Let's make the pasta. All right, let's start by cracking our eggs. For pasta, you really only want to use the egg yolks. So you'll have to separate the egg whites from the egg yolks. So I'm gonna crack our nine eggs into one bowl, and then we'll separate them with the hand method and put them in another bowl. So let's give you a demonstration real quick. So I'm gonna crack our first egg into our bowl. And then now with our hand method, we're gonna go in under the baby egg, take all our egg whites out. Oh yeah. And then we got our nice egg yolk left. And we're gonna place it into our second bowl. Then we'll repeat the whole process. You'll see that we get much egg yolks. So we can actually use these to make omelets the next morning, which is what I'm gonna do. All right, let's finish separating these out. All right, so we got our eggshells, our egg whites, and our egg yolks. This is the good stuff right here. All right, we got our nice flour right here. Egg yolks we can set aside. Oh yeah, a lot of flour. And then we're just gonna push it down by the bowl to make area for our egg yolks to go. Now we're gonna put our egg yolks into the pasta well. Watch how satisfying this is. Now grab your handy dandy fork and you're just gonna separate those egg yolks. Just make sure these get separated before you start incorporating flour. So as you can see right now, our egg yolks are very thin, but as we're gonna start grabbing some of this flour from the side, egg yolks will get nice and thicker. Oh yeah. All right, now that our dough has gotten a little bit thicker, we can just pitch this fork, and we're gonna go with a bench scraper. This bench scraper is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. Might need to get this fork back because it's great for just getting off this excess dough. Kneading this dough can take quite a while, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, I think it's a pretty fun activity. Once you do it, for the first time, it might be a little stressful because you can't get this dough right. You might even get mad at yourself. Yeah, that's happened to me before. I'm gonna start going with my hands. Alright, as you start kneading this dough for a while, the egg yolk color will start appearing more. This is what you want. You want to make sure that you're incorporating enough flour, but you also want to make sure that you don't incorporate too much flour, because you can always add more flour, but you can't take away flour. When making homemade pasta, you must balance the amount of eggs you use and the amount of flour you use. The ratio that I like to go by is for 1 cup of flour, you use 1 egg. 1 whole egg. But what if you're using egg yolks, like I am? You're gonna use 3 egg yolks per 1 whole egg. We're actually gonna put a chart somewhere up here, somewhere. Toss this aside and let it rise for at least 30 minutes. Let's make homemade pesto. Homemade pesto is one of my favorite sauces in the kitchen. Pizza, pasta, I think it's meant to be on both. Pesto is typically made of 6 ingredients. Right here we have some fresh basil, fresh thing of garlic. We have some salt, some pine nuts. Not poison. Nice lump of Parmesan and some olive oil. Our basil is pre-washed, so we're just gonna put it in our processor. Let's go. As you can see here, I have a lot of basil. This This is normal for me. Next, we'll grab our pine nuts. These things are so good, but expensive. Why am I gonna spend so much on these pine nuts and just throw them in the blender when I can do more with them? We're gonna throw these pine nuts on the heat with this saute pan, and we're gonna roast our pine nuts. Sounds good? Oh yeah. All right, on medium-low heat, we're gonna add our pine nuts in, toss them around a bit. Make sure they all get a nice brown coating. Make sure you're also moving this pan a lot because you don't want to burn these precious pine nuts. All right, you don't want these pine nuts to get too hot, so we're gonna turn off this heat and just let them cook in there. All the heat in the pan will eventually cook our pine nuts to where we want them so that they're not too hot, but that they're just right. No, we'll leave about that to top our pasta. Just a nice, fresh piece of garlic. By garlic. Now we'll open up those knives a little bit. And then we'll just peel away a tiny bit. Actually, I didn't really do much. Peel open your garlic. 2 cloves of garlic. Typically when making pesto, you only need 1. But I'm just gonna throw in another one because this is a pretty large batch of pesto. Time for a second one. 2 beautiful cloves of garlic. Dice this up and we're gonna throw it in our food processor. All right, we got our garlic diced up pretty thin to where I want it. So now we're just gonna take this fresh garlic, put it right to our food processor. Just a little pinch. Nice little pinch right into our processor. Cut up our Parmesan. Nice piece. I'm just gonna grate that. Ooh, wrong way. Grate that nice Parmesan. It's probably enough right there. Now we're just gonna go into our food processor with some nice olive oil. Now, be careful with your olive oil because depending on how thick or thin you want it, you're gonna add more or less olive oil. The more olive oil you add, the thinner the pesto will be. The less olive oil you add, the thicker the pesto will be. I'm aiming for somewhere in the middle, so kind of thin, kind of thick. I've made pesto so many times, so I'm just gonna go home with it. We'll just start with that. Remember, we can always add more olive oil, but we can't remove it. So if I want my pesto thinner, olive oil is right there. Let's blend. Now we're gonna go in with my pesto spatula. Whenever I make pesto, I always use this spatula. Just go down in there and we're gonna push all of our basil that didn't make its way through. This is the consistency that I'm looking for. There's a catchphrase in the kitchen that I've always stuck by. If you can't taste it, you can't take it. So, to make sure that this pesto is not poisoned, we're gonna have to go in with a little taste spin. Yeah. Pesto. Let's boil some pasta. In goes some water. I like to fill it about 3/4 of the way. Turn the water on to high. And then we'll go in with some salt. Always salt your water. All right, our pasta has been resting for about 30 minutes. So we're gonna unwrap it. And since it's been sitting for a while, we're just gonna add a touch of flour on there. You can roll the pasta out with the rolling pin, but I don't find that necessary because this makes it much faster. We're gonna fourth our dough, wrap these sides up that we are not using for later, and let's get rolling with this. Flatten it out a tiny bit, add a bit of flour, and then on our lowest setting, we're gonna begin feeding the pasta through. Now we're gonna fold your pasta again, touch of flour, feed our pasta through again. Now, turn the pasta setting up one, and repeat. You want pasta to get really thin to see my hand through it. If I can't see my hand through it, it's not thin enough. Thin, but not thin enough. Pasta's looking pretty thin. I think this will be the last time that we're gonna go through. Oh yeah, this is looking thin. Alright, turn the hand mixer off. You can do whatever shape of pasta that you want. I'm gonna be doing a simple tagliatelle. Start by flouring down your pasta sheet. Then fold a bit more, and keep on going. Then make your way over to a cutting board, and then you're gonna cut your pasta up. Tagliatelle is usually pretty thin, but not too thin. And pappardelle is gonna be like this. Thicker than tagliatelle. But I like my noodles thin. Alright. Then, untangle your noodles. And repeat until you have a bunch of pasta. Looks like a pizza almost, but we're making pasta. Alright, we got our beautiful pasta, fresh pasta right here. Go ahead and take the pasta right here. Fresh, nice, just like that. And add it to our boiling water. Let that submerge in there. Alright, so fresh pasta is a bit different. Normal pasta that you get at the store normally takes about 10, 11, maybe 12 minutes. This only takes 2 or 3. Pasta is ready to strain. Always strain away from your body. That looks good. Take a nice, amazing scoop of pesto, put it right on that beautiful, beautiful pasta. Handy dandy fork, mix it all up. Alright, now come over here. Gonna grab some cheese that I left over from our pesto. You're gonna grate that nice Parmesan. Then, come over here to our pine nuts. I'm gonna take a few of these, sprinkle them in. And this is my take on pesto pasta. Thank you for tuning in on Bring Your Fav, Chef's Corner. Enjoy and stay happy with pasta. Enjoy your life and enjoy the foods you love.